Okay, thanks for that. A big welcome to all of you to the English session, information session that the CALP network is holding for MENA. I will be hosting the session with my colleague Murad. And yeah, we're very excited to have all of you. Again, it's really exciting to see all of the different countries that have tuned in. We're expecting a few more to join, but we're going to go ahead and start. Just a quick reminder on making sure your mics are muted. Feel free to drop questions into the chat, but we will also be having a questions and answers session at the end. We've left a bit of time so that we can have a general conversation about whatever you would like to ask us about. So today we're going to be covering two main points. So the first one is to talk a bit about what are the CVA services, courses, and platforms that the CALP network uses in general, but also related to MENA. And then the second point is just going over some of the key developments that are coming up in the next few months that are also linking to learning and capacity development. So how do we go about doing what we do? First, the objective of the CALP network in general is to strengthen CVA programming and to develop and to contribute to the development of CVA globally. The way that we go about doing this is enabling actors that are involved in the delivery of CVA to strengthen their work, which in turn allows for appropriate support and relevant and appropriate CVA programming to support people to overcome the crises that they are going through with dignity by exercising choice and their right to self-determination. So I'm going to hand over to Murad to talk to us a bit about how we actually do this. Over to you.
Thank you, Chris. So we will talk a bit about our approach. We try to encourage and support collaboration and collective actions throughout the members of our network. We curate synthesized learning materials, and we try to provide these materials with quality and try to have qualified trainers to provide them. And we work on targeted delivery. We try also to increase the diversity of the actors involved and emphasize on national actors. We develop and uptake of evidence and guidance within all the materials that we have produced and we will produce in the future. Either it's for training purposes or for other learning purposes. CALP training and capacity building activities. Well, CALP offers two types of courses. We offer the core CVA courses, and we have also specialized CVA courses. We also deliver these courses utilizing three different tools. The first one is the traditional way, which is the face-to-face trainings. The second one is an online self-directed e-learnings where people can participate and finalize it by themselves. And the third one is a mixture of online self-directed and online facilitated courses where required pre-registry. And we will talk specifically about a certain example later. We also, so under the core standard courses, we provide four types of courses. The CVA programming fundamentals, which is available in our 4 languages, because CALP around the globe works in Arabic, French, English, and Spanish. We provide the fundamentals in the 4 languages. We also have the core CVA skills for program staff, which is CALP which is CALP's flagship course. It's also available in 4 languages. We also provide the same course, but shorter for program managers, which is only available in English. And we are working on the translation and the capitalization and contextualization of our courses to be available in the 4 languages. Core CVA skills for operations staff, finance, ICT, and procurement, which is also available in English and French. These courses also are being delivered. They are all available as face-to-face courses. We have the fundamentals as a self-directed e-learning course, and we have the core CVA skills for program staff as an online course. Again, we will touch upon in a bit. CALP specialized CVA courses. We provide 5 courses that is developed directly by CALP or in cooperation with CALP, but also we have other courses available on our online platforms. The first one is the social protection and CVA, or linking the social protection to CVA in a humanitarian context. We have the protection in CVA, which is originally developed by UNHCR and the Women Refugee Commission, and it was revised by CALP. We have also the market assessment tools training, the monitoring for CVA, and the donor modules. These are the languages that each course is available with. Again, we are working on widening up the availability of these courses in the different languages and the mechanisms we deliver these courses. Again, they are all available as face-to-face, but with having the social protection and the donor module available also as an e-learning courses. Talking about the different platforms that we have within the network. First of all, we have our website. Second, we have our cash learning hub on Kayak Connect. And we also have our YouTube channel, which is required for most of our e-learning. I will try to take you in a quick tour just to touch upon how we access CALP online platform. This is kayakconnect.org. You access it throughout registering a free account. Most probably that this account, you should create it with your personal emails, because if you are with an organization and you leave, then you will lose your email and you will lose access to Kayak. So most preferably is to enter it using your own. Okay, I was already logged in. Now again, and here we go. Here you can find like different training areas, but you can also access the networks. Sorry. The cash hub, we call it.
Murad, just very quickly, we're still looking at the PowerPoint, so I think you need to.
Sorry, let me quickly change it. Okay, I'll go back with the process and we'll do it again. With the sharing, where we are now, here. Can you see it now?
Yep, we're on Kayak.
So I will log out actually and log in again. So here is the kayakconnect.org. You log in again using your personal email. It's a free platform where you can register without the need to pay anything. And then you will find our materials, learning programs, etc., all available on Kaya. We have this part which is called the Cash Learning Hub. You will find our standard courses on it, and you will find our specialized courses. You will also be able to access the different materials that we are offering. You will be able to access the materials itself, even if you are not certified trainers by CAP. And also on Kaya, you will find other resources and trainings shared by other organizations. On the Cash Hub, also, you will be able to find such materials. Let's talk a little bit about our flagship course, which we have transformed into an online course. It's being facilitated online. It has it contains an innovative 12 weeks of online course equivalent to the original CALP face-to-face, core CVA skills for program staff, and the online edition still has the 6 topics that the face-to-face already has. The first topic talks about the concepts and standards, and then we move to assessment, then to analysis, design and implementation, monitoring, and then we would have a free topic that is being selected by the participants on the last day, and we will be looking ahead.
So sorry to jump in, but the connection dropped. So the start of this slide, we need to do again.
Sorry?
If you could just start the slide again, because the connection dropped.
Okay. Can you see it now?
Yeah, we're on the CVA skills for program staff.
Exactly.
Thank you.
So again, as I showed before, for who missed it, we have developed this course to contain, instead of the 5 days face-to-face, now it's happening over 12 weeks online, being facilitated by CALP certified trainers. And also there will be like 50% of the tasks done as a self-learning throughout the videos and throughout the Kaya platform. The overview related to this course: a wide range of e-learning courses and videos on CVA will be available to anyone at the time and free of access via CALP Network Cash Learning Hub. People need to register to take this course, yet they can also sign in and take it, yet they will not be receiving certificates if they are not registered for the formal course that is being facilitated by one of our trainers. But for those people who seeks learning and knowing more, and maybe they may not get the opportunity to register for the course, they can still access very beneficial materials. In order to complete the whole 12 weeks course, again, you need to register. We usually take a cohort of 25 to 30 participants, learners, and we will be launching our 3rd round of this course in the region early next year. we will be also sharing the link for the application for this course. I need to tell you two things about this course. This edition is the first one that is happening in Arabic. And the second important point is that we will have some focus for the participants who apply from Yemen and Syria, while we will have another 10 seats for the rest of the region. CALP will continue providing these courses annually, and we will develop a training plan that will be shared with you soon. Learners on the 12-week course need to be able to commit 3 hours at least per week to this course to cover all the content available. And on completion of the 12 weeks, you will receive the same certificate that participants who have attended the face-to-face one has got. We will also touch upon a tool that was developed by CALP 2006 and was revised and contextualized to MENA just last year. We call it the OCART, the Organizational Cash Readiness Tool. CALP developed this specific tool to assess organization on developing readiness and capacity for developing cash and vouchers within their programs. Who can use the tool? Any type, any size of organization can utilize the OCART. The OCART can be used to assess the CVA readiness within an organization wide level and in single country. Also, it can be utilized within the multi-country organizations and the multi-countries association that has memberships and functions in different places in the world. Another thing we want to touch upon within this session is the library resources. What can you find in this library? Well, we have the different type of tools, reports, case study, guidance, and research related to cash and vouchers assistance in a humanitarian response context, as well as the CALP network own publications, which we try to link to other useful resources. How can you use the library? Basically, there are two ways to benefit out of the library. First one is actually to download the available tools. They are all free. They are not only CALP developed. Any member can access it and actually can add resources to the publication by following this link. Let's have a quick navigation on our library just to see how we filter. We have tried to make it as much easy as we could. Again, it's available on our website. So calpnetwork.org/library will take you to our network. Again, if you just enter the website, you will see the front page and you will go to the resources tab here and you can find the library here. You can search any type of content here, or you can be more specific to just identify keywords for any tool or report you want to have access to. We have almost 2,300 materials within our library. And as you can see, you can identify the type of the resource just on the upper right side of the post itself. It's not only CALP, as you can see from donors and other member organizations. I will just try to type market and see what will happen. Show filter. You can also tighten your research into the sector, themes, regions, countries, and other type of specific search. This is what we found when we market tools. It's still giving me everything. I'll try to put livelihood and see what happens. You will find some specific resources related to market within the context of the early recovery and livelihood. Again, different languages, different organizations and contribution from everybody. And you are welcome to start sharing this or the resources that your organization are producing. Now, we will go back to my colleague, Chris, to talk more about the key developments and the upcoming events that we will have in the region. To you, Chris.
Thanks, Murad. So I'm just gonna go over the key developments and upcoming activities. Next slide, please. So the first key activity is the learning and capacity building assessment that the CALP network usually rolls out annually. It's important that our resources are relevant to the gaps and the interests of the practitioners, both regionally and globally. So this assessment is run globally, but we're going to be telling you about the one that we're going to be running on a MENA level. Through this assessment, we focus on understanding the learning preferences, the barriers to learning, and key topics of interest to better inform the region on not only these three components, but how to better allocate resources. So the assessment will be done potentially over two phases. The first one is going to be the CALP online survey tool. And it would potentially be followed up with focus group discussions if needed, based on the findings from the survey, if we need to unpack any of those three components a bit further. The assessment will be for sure rolled out in both Arabic and English to ensure inclusive participation from all actors regionally. I'm going to take this opportunity to say, please participate in the assessment. It is very important that we hear from everyone working in all countries to better understand what's going on and how can we better tailor our efforts around your needs to the best that we can. So how can we use these findings and how will they be used? So based on the findings, it will not only inform the CALP network's learning and capacity building efforts, but we will also be sharing the information with CVA stakeholders regionally so that resource allocation and prioritization is evidence-based. We recognize that the demand for CVA learning is growing, so the need for coordination and collaborative efforts to ensure that these resources are shared widely amongst the different countries and actors is critical to make sure that we are able to address the gaps together. We hope to have this assessment finalized by February 2020. Now, another thing that we're working on is or will be working on actually, is the Arabic glossary review. So basically what this entails, again, all processes and approaches are collaborative and inclusive. It's important that we make sure that the relevant and appropriate and used CVA language is factored into the Arabic glossary moving forwards. It's a process that we do every 2 years. And it's something that's coming up in the coming few months to be finalized in 2022. So how will we be going about doing this? So we will be approaching different stakeholders. So first, there are the CALP Network certified trainers. We have a conversation with them about their experiences and get feedback from the trainings that they facilitate to see what are key things that need to be added or asked about and whatnot. Cash working groups are also approached to review and provide inputs. Local actors will be approached both bilaterally and through the cash working groups to be consulted for their review and inputs as well. And last but not least, there are bilateral conversations with key stakeholders to ensure that the diversity of practitioners are factored into this review. Based on the consultations that will be run, the findings will be consolidated and then shared for a final review. So again, as I mentioned, the exercise is expected to start in 2022. We will share more information in due time. And that's about it. So we try to keep this short, but tell you about all of these key components to make sure that new people joining their organizations and whatnot are aware about what the CALP network in MENA is working on. So now the floor is yours for any questions or additional things that you would like to better unpack. Just looking at the chat, the following sessions are recorded and it will be online for you to go over again or watch again as you might need it. So the PowerPoint will be through the recording. Feel free to raise your hand or drop the question in the chat. Maraike?
Yeah, thank you very much for the presentation. Hello everyone, I'm Mareike. I'm the Cash Cup support to the Cash Working Group in Damascus. And we just recently actually ran such a survey that you're also planning to do, just also to put everyone in the picture and to actually see where the capacity building need is among our partners and also where we can provide more tailored support. So what we are currently planning for is to run on the thematic areas that were reported to us that our partners would like to have more knowledge about, to run a series where we provide webinars which have a very tight operational input as well, because to make it also more like to create an exchange platform, but also to have lessons learned and exchange among the partners. My question to you would be, because we've now seen like you're providing a wide range of the trainings, whether you would also be up for joining those webinars on the thematic areas you are having the expertise to support us in the more theoretical input that we would provide. So it would look like providing a theoretical input, but then also having co-facilitators who are actually coming as their practitioners who are implementing these kind of thematic areas and like share their operational experiences. Thank you.
Thank you, Mareike, for this question. And actually, yes, for CALP, capacity building is not only trainings, it's the different type of technical assistance that we have the capacity to provide to our members and to all CVA practitioners globally. We actually have done this many times through the years, and sometimes it's not only the CALP network in a specific region that would only contribute, because a part of our staff, we also have technical staff who can focus on the different sectors and can provide the required technical support for such webinars, learning sessions, and learning events. And we have done that like many times before. Last year, we have done something with Cash and Wash, with the Global Wash Cluster, I guess. So yes, we are really interested in developing this together or providing the required support. I hope this answers your question.
It does answer my question. Thank you very much. And then we're going to be in touch with you bilaterally to plan further for that. Thank you.
Anytime. Other questions? Again, we are working on the development of our training plan for the next year. So we will be sending you links for surveys. We will conduct focus groups, as Chris has shared with you. All your inputs would really support us providing the specific and required support for CALP. We have resources still, as much as they are big, they are still limited comparing to the demand on the CVA learning activities. And actually, we will provide you with a plan, a consolidated plan, where it will require the contribution of the different parties and CVA practitioners from the region and globally. Yeah, just saying that. Other questions in your minds that we didn't cover?
There's nothing more in the chat. I think I'm just gonna take the opportunity to say, feel free to reach out bilaterally to us if you'd like to have a more in-depth conversation about how the CALP network in MENA can work with your respective organizations to identify points of collaboration, or if you'd like to have a more detailed conversation around your capacities and your future plans. If there are no other questions, we might just be able to wrap up a bit early, but I'm going to give it a few minutes before we actually close the session.
Do you want us to share our emails in the chat box so people can reach us, Chris?
Yeah, I am doing that.
رأيك في كمان مرة. Shoot.
Thanks a lot. No, it's just such a great opportunity to directly ask these questions. And it's not a direct question I would ask for the cash working group now I'm supporting here, but it's more a general question because I've seen you've also done a lot of work in supporting on thematic areas, not in terms of providing a training, but for example, working and supporting financially, but also through expertise on working on different topics, for example, the FSP mapping that you supported in Yemen. I just wanted to ask a more general question at this point. I guess it's also interesting for others. What would you need to do if you are a cash working group, or if you're also just, not just, but like an operational partner? What you need to do when you identify a topic where you would like to have support with, but where you not necessarily have the human or financial resources to do that yourself. Like, what can you do? Thank you.
Do you want to answer this?
Yeah.
Chris? Yeah.
So Manaki, just so that I have understood your question completely. In the event that a similar assessment, such as the FSP mapping that was done in Yemen, was to be repeated in a context where HR or financial resources are not available, what would you do? Is that correct?
Yeah, and yeah, for example, like knowing that CALP can provide some support, like what would you need to do to reach out to you, and how do you actually get in dialogue? Yeah.
That's a great question. So basically, it's just basically dropping us an email to either Jorgis and myself, and we will establish a bilateral meeting to better understand the context, the need for it, stakeholders, where are the key gaps, either HR or resources, and we take it from there. It would, and I think it's a case-by-case situation, to be very honest for you. It will depend on the country and the context and the stakeholders. But basically having that initial conversation is really important for us to identify the best approaches or mechanisms to support the cash working group in conducting the pieces of work that they're interested in. And then, yeah, we take it from there. Unfortunately, there isn't a standard answer because resources are limited, and we're trying to also prioritize our reach and our presence in the most both strategic and impactful way. But we will for sure be looking at different solutions with you to ensure that the cash working group is getting the support it needs.
And if I may add that, it shouldn't be always from CALP as a direct intervention or support. What CALP also can provide is, if you have the resources assigned for specific requests and CALP may not be able to commit to this request, we can link you to the network or the pool of experts / trainers / practitioners who may be able to support the process if you have the resources for it. If not, also a part of what we do is actually the coordination and the collaboration between the different members and practitioners. So, and sometimes we receive the same request from different directions. We can put you guys all together, and you can like jointly work on a specific issue or task. So that's along with the direct support that Cash can provide. I don't see any other question. Again, here are our emails, myself and Chris, and you can also find other colleagues' emails on our website. Just reach us, drop us a line, and we will be here just to support. Thank you all.
Thanks, everyone.
Yeah.
So just a final comment from Riham. It would be better to build a community of cash group of experts in Yemen to have access in Yemen. We are very mindful about the different contexts and the access component, which was briefly mentioned by Murad earlier, which is why, for example, we're focusing on countries like Yemen and Syria, which are hard to access, to better support CVA practitioners on the ground. So definitely agree, Riham, and we are looking at different ways to ensure that there are resources and support being provided to hard to access areas with a lot of need on the ground. Questions are coming in. Okay, so we have Karam from Syria. When are you launching the CALP training plan for 2022? Good question. So we will be conducting the assessment over the next 3 months. We hope that the training plan will be ready as of next February and will be shared, as Murad mentioned, with everyone. From Sosan, is there a TOR for the group where we understand the mandate, future plans, and frequency? Just to clarify, Sosan, which group? Feel free to unmute yourself and elaborate on your question?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much for inviting us. And I'm very glad that we're having a regional CALP a group. So what I'm calling us a group, but maybe there is another name for this platform. So I'm just asking about us here in this CALP regional discussion, if there is a more clear purpose and plans for the future, if we are going to be meeting frequently, how we could be more engaged. I'm just trying to personally put this meeting as a priority within my own job and daily work. I hope I clarified.
Yeah, thanks, Sausan. So the information sessions, so exactly because of, with that objective, to make sure that everyone's on the same page in terms of capacity building and learning, we're holding these 2 information sessions, the one right now in English and then the one right after this in Arabic, to explain what are the resources that you can access through CALP, online, but also bilateral engagement and cooperation and collaboration. So again, as I mentioned before, I think it would be great if we build on our bilateral conversations to better understand per organization, how can CALP engage and make sure that we're able to reach a space where you're getting the support that is needed, or as Murad mentioned as well, we can guide you towards the best resources or practitioners that can support you in your efforts within your organization. But besides that, again, feel free to reach out to build on this conversation so that your organizational needs and efforts are best discussed and understood. Any other questions? Okay. I think the 3rd time is a charm, as they say. So if there are no further questions or inquiries or things that you'd like for us to elaborate on, we're going to wrap up. And again, this is a recorded session. It will be online. And we've dropped our emails, and you can find our emails and contact details on the CALP Network website as well. So please reach out. Let's have a conversation. Let's see how we can continue working towards improving CVA programming for the communities that you work with directly. And best of luck in all of your operations. Thank you very much.